Yes guys, what is happening and welcome back to a new video. So let's talk about K20 Turbo. So it doesn't have to be an Integra, it could be an EP3, it could be a K-swap car. I'm just going to go off what I've done to this as in K20 Turbo and tell you how much it costs to do a turbo conversion, potentially what mods you need. So without further ado, let's go. Firstly, I want to do a big shout out to RW for producing such a sick kit. In regards to the turbo parts, you can get majority of it from him. I got most of the main turbo components like turbo, manifold, exhaust and that integral off him, and then there was little odds and sods that I got from Tegiwa, only because they offered Klarna. So we purchased the main bulk and then Klarna'd most of it, so it was like an ongoing repetitive thing. This was, believe it or not, it was about a year ago. I put the deposit down well, I paid the whole thing to get it rolling, and what a day it was handing over that much money. Like, geez, it was a big time. But yeah, there was quite a few people who was going to go LA Fab or RW, because RW's closer. It was a bit more convenient for me. Regards to some places were offering a kit without an intercooler, and it was just going to be a bit of a nightmare based on location and stuff to actually get things done. So RW, pretty much you could drop your car off, they could do the whole thing, or we can supply you with the bits. Obviously for my purposes I wanted the bits and then I wanted to fit them to my car. So yeah, luckily he had a spare DC5 that he was working on at the time, so when he made their bits he was duplicating it and giving me mine. So yeah, without further ado, we're going to kind of show you what's needed, what you should probably go for, what I didn't go for maybe, and yeah, let's go from there. So without further ado, let's go. Right, so first things first, if you see there is my ECU. To get your car mapped, I'm not too sure if you can do it on a stock ECU, or you have to get the upgraded version like I have. So there we go, after doing a bit of research I found it. So I have the K100 ECU, which I believe is the old kind of going Honda. At the moment I think some people are starting to go to, what's the Australian brand? Is it ECU Master? No, oh, I forgot what it's called, but they have it in the dash. I'm going to pause it just for this particular sentence and actually find out what it is, but a lot of Haltech, that's it, Haltech. So some people run the Haltech ECUs and the Haltech dash, you know, when you get the fancy electronic dash. But for me personally, I think the DC5 dash, the clocks, I think that's like the best clocks on a car. I don't know why, but I had a bit of a thing for manual clocks, man, and I love them when they're turned on and they're red. Whoa, spicy. But mainly people go through the K Pro. If I could turn back time, I probably wish I'd have sold my K100 and bought a K Pro, but because mine is already a K100, I would have had to have like took the part of the ECU apart and then put the K Pro inside it and then get it mapped. So it would have been a ball ache, but because I bought this modified anyway, it already had the K100 in it. K Pro is better for, you could probably connect it to your phone, you could have a head unit and you could connect the ECU to the head unit, and then you can run like your gauges and stuff like that, like wirelessly kind of through the app. Whereas obviously now everything I do now is manual, so I've got to have manual sensors for gauges and stuff, do you know what I mean? So I currently only have a coolant gauge, which I do want to get an oil temp and a boost gauge. So yeah, I think a K100 roughly, I think going for about 400 quid, I think you can buy them for off eBay. And the K Pro it was around 960 quid if you were going to buy them from Tegiwa, but obviously I already had mine, so that's no drama. So ECU is sorted. So obviously we're going to I'm going to try and do the video, and then I'm going to try and work out how much it costs at the end, because there is going to be a lot of cost involved. So the ECU, to do a base file, because obviously I didn't want to get the car done and then get it on a trailer it all the way down to Wales, and then find I've got a problem. I'd rather drive it about and then take it for mapping once I believe it's fine. So what we did was base map put on after everything was fitted. So obviously this is something I can send away, wait for it to come back, so it'll run, but you will have like boost cuts, so the turbo won't actually work. And obviously, as you know, if you followed me, we did have problems prior to mapping, which I thought was a very good idea, because if I'd have just trailered it there, I could have, my coolant burst everywhere, the fan weren't working, my oil return wasn't in the correct position, we thought the engine was toast. Like, so yeah, 50 quid for the base map. JCal does it, and I believe RS Tuning does it as well. Not RS Tuning, geez, I forgot. There is another reputable Honda tuner out there. I forgot. Because this is on the top of my head and I'm trying to run and gun. I shouldn't run a gun, I should put stuff in my notes. Promise you guys, next video we are going to note stuff down and I'm going to like bop it off the hip. I forgot what it's called. So yeah, there is Jesse and the other one, I've honestly forgot. He's really popular with the Renaults and Hondas. I forgot his name. Paul West. Paul West. I'm getting Paul West. I don't know if that's RS Tuning, because I'm sure his name's Paul. I don't know. But yeah, so ECU and mapping. I think the mapping was 500. So far, if you've already got the ECU, 550. So base map and proper map, £500. So yeah, that is just for the ECU and a map. So what we got to do, get into the engine bay, show you what kind of stuff we've got around there and why we've purchased stuff and what we could have got. So yeah, let's go for it. Then guys, so here is the beast. This is the absolute magnificent piece of artwork from Dean at RW, man. Honestly, whew, it's looking a bit dirty now, so I could probably try and clean it up, but she still looks good, man. That's what I wanted. I wanted the black and silver kind of vibe. So first things first, rocker cover. So what we wanted as less pressure or better oil cooling, oil flow. So what we did was we took the rocker cover off. We had iron lines fitted, so we got this one here, this one here. So the rocker cover used to be red, so now we've got a nice new black one with K-tuned oil dipstick and oil cap, which I probably wouldn't bother because it was just a waste of money. That was like, I'm sure that was like 100 and something, and that was like, that was so expensive, honestly. I will put in description how much they cost here or here. Obviously they're not needed, these are not needed as well. These are like 80 quid and they're shit, they come loose. I've had to Loctite them in to keep them in now. So yeah, we've done that. We got this oil breather, just so I wanted to make sure I've got oil cooling, oil breathing, just make sure I've got like the best stuff that I could possibly buy, so I know that I'm comfortable with the car, do you know what I mean? So rocker cover, and this, I believe the oil cooler was 360, and then with the rocker cover I'm sure it was like another 100 quid, because obviously I had it painted and stuff, so I'm sure with the rocker cover and the oil cooler was like 360, somewhere like that. So yeah, this is just the starting piece, and then obviously we've upgraded the spark plugs. I think the spark plugs were like 40 quid. Still standard coil packs, which is pretty good. To be fair, I don't even know how old these are, to be fair. They're probably the life of the engine. So then what we did, already had a K-tuned fuel rail, but obviously this broke on me, so I had to buy a new one of these. This was like 56 quid. So yeah, these are about 220 quid, I think, off the top of my head. And then obviously whilst we're here, we've got injectors. Injectors were like 500 roughly, I think. So yeah, we're getting ahead of ourselves here. So like 360, 100, 50 odd quid, 500 quid. thankfully the last owner, I think this is an RBC inlet. I think you can run a stock inlet manifold on these, so yeah, thankfully we had that anyway. So while we're here, you need this most definitely. You need a 4-bar map sensor. Yeah, sorry, that's what was 100 quid, because we had that and that painted gloss black, so we had the two of them together painted in the black crinkle. This map sensor was like 100 and I want to say 110, and then while we're there, I wanted a bigger throttle body, because obviously turbo, more forced induction, so bigger pipe work and stuff. So we went for this Tegiwa throttle body, which was £199 I believe. And then obviously while we were there on the same spot, we ordered the Acuity TPS sensor. Apparently this is supposed to be good for idling with the judder when you go to pull away. I think it's better. It definitely feels better than it used to, NA. So yeah, I'm sure this was about 100, 110, 200. So got nearly 400 quid just there. Power steering wise, I think I just bought a new hose for like a few quid, and then so there was like I think this power steering fluid, there was a power steering fluid cooler right here. We basically just U'd it on itself so it goes back onto itself, which was probably a few quid, 4 quid, 5 quid. We got an AC delete as well, because we removed the AC because I wanted a cleaner looking engine bay. I think that was about 30-40 quid, so it's nothing too deep. Right then, so we're getting to the main bits now. So the turbo kit, I believe, was turbo, boost pipes and intercooler. So it was intercooler, boost pipes, turbo, induction kit. I feel like I had to buy this. I definitely bought one of them, so I think I either bought this one off Tegiwa, and this one I think this one come with the kit. I think you get a wastegate, turbo manifold and a D pipe. So this literally, the D pipe there goes like halfway down here and then stops. So that's what you get for the turbo kit. So you just get turbo, so you don't get you do get some cooling aspects, a new cooler pipe here for the coolant. And then if you look here down there where my finger is, that's a new coolant pipe. And then you get a new one that goes on the back of, oh, come on, you can see there. So my pipe work goes between the D pipe and the manifold, so it does a U-bend on itself, and then it connects onto this one and goes onto the top. So you get most of that, so you're not like high and dry, so you do get most of the bits to fit. Obviously that's if you want to do it yourself. Yeah, I think so. Intercooler, pipes, turbo, manifold, wastegate, screamer, I think was, I want to say 4,100. I want to say, well, with the D pipe as well. So obviously exhaust wise, we went with Decat silencer, back box. So it's like a Jap style back box, so it is slightly angled, so it comes up a bit. He was going to put a centre section in it for me, but I said no because race car. So yeah, that was like 600 for that. And then when we come down here, you can't really see it. This is the radiator. So we've got radiator with additional oil cooler. So if you look here where my finger is, the oil cooler goes on the back. So yeah, so we've got additional cooling. The only thing is, I think it hasn't got much cooling really, has it? Like, it's literally this little bit here. So yeah, I think the radiator with oil cooler with the fans, I want to say I'm sure between 600 and 800 pound. I think I will double check and I'll put that literally down here. Trying to think of anything else. I've covered most. Fueling. We've got an upgraded. I want to say Civic fuel pump in the back, 340 I believe. So I think it's perfect for 400 to 500 brake kind of power outputs. Regards, because there used to be a battery there, battery relocation kit. We took the original battery, put it all the way in the boot. I think that was £130. The blow-off valve, I didn't actually want a blow-off valve, you know, because I wanted the, you know, the super, the jet kind of turbo noises, but I was told that it can affect the turbo, so we went with it in the end. But does anyone know how I can block this off? Like, even if I just did it just for a little bit, just to see how it is, would it just be the case of disconnecting this and then blanking it off? Because I just want to see what it sounds like without. Obviously it's an anti-surge turbo. I think it's a precision turbo 5858 I believe, if anyone's wondering. Yeah, we had to push the power steering line out of the way. People are like, oh, what's that, it's going to set on fire. Like, loads of people run all like tin foil around the back of the engine. Honestly, unless you leave things rubbing, it is pretty good. The only thing I've got to amend is this little wire here, but other than that, it's pretty good to go. As you know, yeah, that's expensive. Someone did tell me when I first started I could do it for about £3 grand. And I think off the top of my head, if I was to give you a ballpark figure right now, just guessing, without actually working it out, I think I'm just having a look, see if she's looking. I think I'd probably say about £2 grand. Nah, I mean about 6. I reckon 6, 7, probably more, maybe, because I didn't intend to put another clutch in. So we put an Action Competition Stage 3 clutch in again. The last one only lasted about, well, we don't know if it was actually the clutch that failed. It could have been the release bearing. So yeah, that was like another 500 quid for a clutch. So yeah, it's a pretty penny. But when you compare the likes of how much a 140 is and how much it's going to cost 140 to get to 500 brake, you're probably better off turbo. And I'll probably say, as a hot hatch, it's probably the best value for buck kind of to get power output. Corsas, Astras, you've got to forge them. If you get a Fiesta's bolt-on turbo kit. I know I'd rather have a K20 turbo than a Fiesta ST turbo. So yeah, I really am stumped. All I would say is, yeah, drivability, it's not going to be great. I kept it at 430 because I wanted to keep it safe. 300 pound-foot of torque, just keep it nice and safe. I don't want to be blowing it up. Obviously with wheel spinning, it's got factory LSD in it. Probably could do with an M factory. My mate's got a FN2 360 brake Rotrex kit supercharged, and he's got the M factory diff, and it drives brilliant. Like, I would love mine to drive like how this doesn't. So yeah, I honestly can't think of anything. I hope I've covered everything. You know, it's had a new clutch line, it's had new slave, it's had new master, it's literally had everything. Eating dog area. So yeah, it has had pretty much everything. Oh, it's had a new thermostat as well. And then on the back you get a sandwich plate for the oil cooler. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go in, I'm going to get my notes up, I'm going to check every single thing that I bought that's turbo related to this car, and I'm going to send you, we're just going to cut to the next video and I'm going to tell you how much. So place your bets, guess, comment down below, let me know how much you think it cost, and let me know if you think it was worth it. For me driving it, it was definitely worth it, because I said in life we're going to make memories, and this was one of the big ones. So yeah, it's a madness, but yeah, let's go. Right, so I broke it down. And we are going to go through it. So Speed Factory Racing map 4-bar map sensor was 139 quid. So we're going to go through them now. So 139 quid. Then we got the Civic 340 LPH fuel pump, which was 115. So plus 115. So that's 254. And then we did originally order a Speed Factory 4 Mac port sensor. In the end we took that back and got the Mac free one, I believe. I think that was about 70 quid. And then obviously the grams injectors, 1000cc injectors, were 470. So I'm going to say 470 add 70 plus 470 plus 70 equals, so £794 so far. And then Tegiwa 70mm billet throttle body, plus 199 equals, now we're at £993. And then we got Acuity TPMS sensor, which was 104, plus the Gates AC delete, which was 31, and Honda Bond if you're even going to count that. So I'm going to call that 135 so far, plus 135. So that's not even anything like really major, to be honest. I'd replaced the thermostat because obviously I was ripping out the coolant side of it. So I thought throw a new thermostat in, obviously you don't have to. And then it was NGK grade 8 spark plugs, I believe, which was £34 plus 34, because you apparently they run at a higher temp, so you do need there's like NGK 9 or NGK 8. I'm sure I've got that 8. And then we've got a K-tuned, you know, the centre section I mentioned, that was £64. 64, yep. Skunk 2 low profile valves, they were £76. I'm not going to add them because obviously you don't need to, that was me. So we've got a coolant, power steering fluid, oil filter, so 30, so that's 50 quid for coolant, 1 litre of power steering fluid and oil filter, so we'll add 50. And then we bought oil as well, which I don't even think we put oil into this thing here. The Mac 3 boost solenoid was £62. I bought another 3 litres of gearbox oil because I obviously took the gearbox off after the clutch failed and that, so we replaced that. I'm not going to add that in there because hopefully once you put the gearbox fluid in once, that's it, then you have to do it once more. The new clutch was 420, so I'm guessing because that failed, you'd probably be buying it anyway, so plus 420, so we were at £1,696 and we haven't bought anything turbo related yet. Right, here we go. So I got someone to help me fit the Mac port sensor, so the low and high boost, which was £120. So I'm going to add this in because this is what I've spent. And then blow off valve, so it's a Turbo Smart blow off valve, and that was 260. Yep. And then exhaust, obviously I sold my exhaust, so my manifold and my exhaust, I think I got £600 for it. So on here I paid £600 for the D pipe backwards, so plus 600 equals, yep. And then we had the rocker cover, oil breather, an inlet in black, that was £350. Then battery relocation, which as I said, put the battery in the boot, that was 130. Wow. The inlet manifold cost me 70 quid to get that sprayed black. Kinda don't need to add that in there, so we now will leave that. That was just me being picky. I sent him £600, which I believe was for the radiator, oil cooler and the fan extended, so 600, yep. The rad overflow was £95. And then the turbo setup, so there was a bit of hose, the turbo, the boost pipes, the intercooler, the wastegate, manifold, the D pipe, a few other little silly bits, that was, and the screamer, because I wanted the screamer at the bonnet, it was more hassle, so that was 3,140. and that's it. That looks like that's it. And then obviously I sold my exhaust, so I kind of took 600 off that, and then obviously we mapped it, which was 560. I checked it was £600 for a base map. That is disgusting. If you guessed it, if you commented it, this is how much it costs. £7,551. Wow. And obviously if you'd have had that fitted yourself, you'd have probably paid a lot more, so I reckon with all the bits probably like £8,000. And this is my problem. My car cost me 14,500. Obviously cars go up and down, which is understandable. But add that to 14,000 equals. So my car owes me that much, yeah, £21,551. And I would have thought 18, 19 grand to sell it is a fair estimate, bearing in mind that's how much I spent on it only a couple of months ago. So yeah, it was up for sale. If anyone's interested, I will take. This will kill me, and this is the lowest I will take. So it would be £17,000, and that's only to sell the car to move on to another project. So yeah, that is where we're at. That was £7,500 to do a turbo kit. So that's probably the best stuff you could probably buy, I believe anyway. Obviously that's not with oil temp gauges or anything like that. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a bit more statistics kind of thing, so you at least you know what I'm doing, because a lot of people don't talk about money and how much it costs. And like I say, I saved all year, and I mean I was in every weekend doing overtime, and it kind of destroyed me in a sense, because all I was aiming for was that. So yeah, probably wouldn't recommend doing it again. I definitely ain't going to do it again. It's not going to be, unless we make it big in YouTube. Hopefully we can do some mad builds in the future, but for now I know what I want to do next, and yeah, hopefully get the car sold and we move on to the next project. So yeah, without further ado, I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.